Welcome to Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Your hosts, V&M General Manager Kevin Jean and Daiwa Ranger Pro Staffer Steve Graff will keep you up to date on what's happening on the best lakes in the Arklatex region, with a primary focus on Sam Rayburn and Toledo Bend, two guys who have fished at a high level with Pro-Am experience with ABA, BFLs, Toyota Series, and B.A.S.S. Opens. Anglers with a wealth of knowledge and willing to share. So pull up a chair, kick back, and see why so many anglers watch Tackle Talk Live. Here are your hosts, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
Welcome to Tackle Talk Live. I'm your co-host, Steve Graff, along with V&M General Manager Kevin Jean. Kevin, you know, one thing I just noticed on the intro, I talk a lot with my hands. So I'm trying to kind of keep them down a little bit, not talk with my hands. But today on Tackle Talk Live, it's a new edition of Tackle Talk. We're kind of doing a little split screen deal with Kevin. Kevin, tell them where you're at.
I am in my new home in Broussard, Louisiana. Me and my wife, my daughter, we moved down here to Broussard. My wife we had to move with her job. I am still with V&M. I'm still the president of V&M. I'm running the day-to-day operations remotely right here from my house. So some weeks we will have to go remote with Tackle Talk Live. I'm going to try to plan my trips to Natchitoches to help to get there for V&M and also for Tackle Talk Live. Some weeks we will have to be remote, like this week we are, but hopefully, every other week.
Well, this also, Kevin, could open up some opportunities for us as well. Different places we could do the show from iCast. Or for both an iCast, we can both do it from iCast, whatever.
Yeah, we can, Steve. Also, if you're out of town on a tournament, if I'm out of town on a tournament, being able to do this guarantees we're able to have the show every week.
Right.
And it's going to be tougher and tougher. I'm trying to come to Natchitoches once a week for V&M to get to the warehouse.
Right.
But it's a 2-hour drive from where I live at right now. So it's hard for me to get outside more than once a week. But, hey, we're gonna make it work like this. The show must go on.
Hey, there you go. And I'm back here in our studio, our TTL studio, right here in beautiful Natchitoches, Louisiana. Today's show, we have the results from the ABA Divisional Series over at Lake Palestine, which is a combination of East Texas, South Texas guys getting together for a regional. We'll have those results. We got the Bob City results from Lake Fork, Texas. Kevin, they caught them. They caught them pretty darn good over there this week.
Steve, 22 overs. 22.
Yeah. That may be a record for them. I don't recall that many overs in the past. So we'll see. We'll go over all that with you today as well. We also got the B.A.S.S. has just announced today, as Kevin notified me earlier, they have their Open Series schedule out for 2023. And speaking of Open Series, they're also starting event number 2 on Red River this week. I believe this Thursday, the Open Series for this year is on Red River, taking place out of Shreveport. We'll go over that just a little bit. We talked about it a little bit last week. We'll do it a little bit more today, kind of what these guys can expect. Tough fishing, always tough fishing on the river. And but anyway, we'll go over that just a little bit. ABA Solo 150 Tour dates are out. We will announce those today live for the first time right here on Tackle Talk Live. So if you've got friends that want to fish the Solo 150, call them, get them on the air, have them tune us in because we're fixing to go over all that.
So, and we're releasing that, right, Steve? Nobody has seen or heard these dates yet.
This is the first place it's been released. So you'll be the first to know right here on Tackle Talk Live. Also, just released this morning, the ABA Open Series for Division 10 South Texas. We'll go over those dates. I'll give those dates to you as well. And but first, we're going to take a real quick break, recognize a few of our sponsors, and then we'll come back and announce the Solo 150 Tour dates and lakes. You're watching Tackle Talk Live.
Toledo Health is a full-service primary and acute care clinic. Nurse practitioners Jarrett Rule and Melissa Vines bring quality health care that's needed and convenient to the area. Whether it's a stomach virus or a hook in your hand, Toledo Healthcare will try and meet all your healthcare needs. Appointments available and walk-ins are always welcome. So the next time you're feeling down at Toledo Bend, stop by Toledo Healthcare, located on Highway 6, just south of Toledo Town, or you can call 318-508-5323. For all your boating needs, check out Shreveport's newest marine dealer, The Boat Shop. Raymond Kidd and his great staff will take care of all your engine repair needs or anything else that needs fixing. A certified Yamaha Mercury dealer, they carry two of the best fishing boats on the market from Sea Arc and Camus. The Boat Shop is never short on trade-ins as they're always willing and able to make you the best deal possible. Looking for great boat accessories? They're a full support garment and Minn Kota dealer. So the next time you're in the market for a new or used boat, or maybe you just need to service the boat you have, let the Boat Shop fix you up. To learn more, call 318-402-0399 or go to ShreveportBoatShop.com. The next time you're on I-49 just south of Natchitoches, Louisiana, stop by Cypress Knee Outdoors. A store within a store, Cypress Knee is located inside 3J's Four-Way. Whether you need gas, food, or drinks, they have it. While you're there, check out Cypress Knee Outdoors and pick up whatever hunting or fishing tackle you need. Top name brands like Strike King, Santone, Spro, or the #1 soft plastics made, V&M. On the hunting side, they carry guns from Mossberg, Winchester, and Remington. Plus, they've got a great supply of ammunition. Let John Abram and his staff show you everything Cypress Knee has to offer. Located just 1 mile east of 127 on I-49 or call 318-238-HUNT. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
You're watching Tackle Talk Live. Thank you for tuning us in. Again, I'm Steve Graff, along with V&M General Manager Kevin Jean down there in South Louisiana, and I've been in North Louisiana. This segment presented by Toledo Health, The Boat Shop, 3J's Four-Way, home of Cypress Knee Outdoors. Thank you, John Abraham and the gang over there. Coming up right now, get your pen and pencil out, call your name.
Can I do a drum roll? Can I do a drum
roll? Whatever you're going to do. I mean, because we've got the 2023 ABA Solo 150 schedule is out. Event number 1. What a great place to start, Kevin. Sam Rayburn, Texas, March 17th and 18th.
It doesn't get any better than that for our area. Sam Rayburn in March. I mean, he's starting it off right, Steve. No doubt about that.
In all these tournaments for ABA, all ABA events will always go out of Castle Boykin, so you don't have to make that long run to get up the lake. That's one thing I like about the ABA tour. Event number 2. Folks are going to be excited about this one. I know I was excited because, Kevin, I've been to it twice, and every time I have been here, it is just absolute a great place to go fishing. Lake of the Pines outside of Longview, Jefferson, Texas, April 28th and 29th, another 2 good days there.
And Steve, that's again a perfect time of year to go to Lake of the Pines.
Yes,
I mean, really you're going to Sam Rayburn in March, and April, the end of April, and Lake of the Pines be a really good time of year to be on the lake. I mean, he has knocked it out of the park with these first 2 events, no doubt about it.
And then the final event, a lot of you guys, I know Kevin will be excited. A lot of these guys that this place has kind of been avoided, but it's a lot of people going back to it this year. Event number 3, get ready, folks. Toledo Bend. That's right, the Big Bend, May 26th and 27th at a Lost Frontier Park. Which is the old Frontier Park.
The new Lost Frontier Park. It's a good location because you've got several boat ramps right there. Yes. People can use and just idle to the back of the cove right back there. I'm not sure how he'll do takeoff, but again, Toledo Bend, May 26th and 27th. Again, a really good time of year. Those fish will just be starting to get offshore. The end of May, early June is always a really good offshore bite because the fish haven't been getting messed with all summer long. They're just getting out there. So I think this schedule, I'm fishing it. I know I'll be fishing it next year because I love this schedule. He did an excellent job getting this schedule together.
And Lost Frontier Park, folks, if you haven't been there, I'm telling you right now, the Chase Collins the previous owner really took this thing and took it to another level. He is actually sold out to another gentleman, but they're continuing the same process that Chase did. It has got a nice restaurant, a great restaurant with a personal chef. Does an outstanding job. Great food, great service. They got new cabins on site, new grounds. They got new swimming pool. I mean, they got a beach area. volleyball area, RV parking. I mean, they've done a great job at really revitalizing Lost Frontier, which was the original Frontier Park, which years ago, Kevin, that's one of the first places I ever went out of a tournament on Toledo Bend.
Oh, yeah, back when the Strand and Everstart series, that's where they went out of on Toledo Bend. It's a good location because, again, there's several boat ramps right there. Everybody don't have to go use one boat ramp. There's a ton of boat ramps right there close, and everybody can just idle to the back of the cove. Good location to have the event. I'll be excited to fish it. I'm excited to fish all three of these events. Again, great dates on the Great Lakes. And Steve, they're all within, it's not a 5-6 hour drive.
No.
And I've explained to you in the past, I've been a little aggravated with the way he's done it, just because it's like you fall 7 hours away, Rayburn and here. It's a little much for me. Driving.
It was a regional type circuit. I mean,
yes.
it covered the Arctic, basically. I mean, you're right. And this schedule right here, it's in the heart of East Texas and in the heart of our neighborhood. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better schedule.
Any East Texas, North Louisiana angler, it fishes those lakes at some point, knows those lakes well enough. There's no reason this field shouldn't fill up.
No, and the best payback of any tournament trail, even talking to Todd Castledine and other guys like Andrew Upshaw that have been wanting to fish this, they will tell you best payback of anybody is the ABA Solo 150 Tour. So looking forward to seeing everybody there at those events. Like I said, Kevin will be there. I'll be there. Just should be a really great turnout, especially starting out March 17th to 18th on Sam Rayburn.
Yeah.
It just don't get no better. The next South Texas division for the Open Series is out. I'm going to give you the dates. Of course, all South Texas events are all on Rayburn. So January 14th is the first one. March the 11th is the second one. April 15th is the third one. The fourth one is June the 10th. And the 2-day divisional this year, don't have the date set, but it is September, which is what I just fished this past week at Palestine, but it's going to Toledo Bend. A lot of you guys will like that schedule as well, especially with the 2-day divisional on Toledo Bend. That should be another great event on Toledo Bend. So, Kevin, again, Sunday Circus going back to the Bend this year.
It had a good year, Steve. It had really good weights, all the tournaments. The fishing's been good for this year. Really good weights coming out. So, and other lakes getting a little tough. Rayburn is not as good as it has been in the past. So, Toledo Bend's coming back. It's coming back. It's got a little grass going right now, Steve. We're not going to say that too loud, but some good things happening on Toledo Bend, and I think it's set up for a good 2023.
Well, and as we covered this year, a lot of the events, Kevin, the weights were really strong this year at Toledo Bend. I mean, good sacks brought in, which kind of was unexpected for a lot of the Toledo Bend people. They were like, wow, fishing's pretty darn good at Toledo Bend again. So
no, it is. It is. Yeah. We have some really good weights.
You guys in the East Texas division, Chris Wayne, make sure they told me to tell you guys that schedule will come out next week. He's waiting on 2 confirmations from 2 marinas, and but the schedule is pretty much set. But we'll announce the East Texas division next week. Sealy results, Kev. I mean, holy cow! I don't even know.
I never. Steve, last week we had Jason Kahn on to preview this tournament, and it was kind of, hey, how many overs will get caught? 3, 4, 5? Steve, they had 22 overs caught. Again, if my math is right, me going by the hourly weights here, counting, my math is right, and I'm reading it correctly, there's 22 overs caught in 3 days of fishing on Lake Fork.
Wow. I mean, that's just, that's crazy.
And no true giants. I mean, a 10-21 won it, which is a giant, don't get me wrong, but no 11, 12, 13 pound fish. Bunches of 7 and 8 pounders caught. There were several 6s. I don't know how a 6 pounder can get to 24 inches, but there were several 6 pounders weighed in as well.
Right. I'm trying to actually pull up the results here from this event.
I got it here.
Okay.
I got it right here in front of me. First place, David Ralston from Allen, Texas, with a 10.21.
Right.
Second place, Jeffrey Horn, Glenwood, Arkansas, with a 9.97. Third place, Bowie Wheeler from Round Rock, Texas, a 9.84. Fourth place, Kent Sykes from Roanoke, Texas, 882. And fifth place, this is overall now. Overall, Jason Smith from Forney, Texas, with an 866.
Yeah, just really strong weights this year. And a lot of those fish, Kevin, I looked at the Friday results, or Thursday, Friday results. They won. A lot of those bigger fish came in on the first day, which is, I guess, not unusual for the Sealy event.
No, it's not. I mean, it hadn't been beat to death. I think 10 or 11 of the 22 came in on Friday. And if you look at the hourly layouts, most of, there'll be 2 or 3 big fish weighed in 1 hour, and then the next hour there was no big fish weighed in. So you can kind of tell when the bite happened on Lake Fork when you look at the hourly results. But I'm very, very impressed with these weights coming out of Lake Fork.
I was curious to see, one of the telltale signs of how well a lake is producing at a particular time is what kind of weights are coming in. Well, here's the heaviest 3 weights under the slot for each day. Paul Pedler from Waxahachie, Texas, 2.68 under. That's pretty good. That's a chunk. That's a football. Yeah. And then Saturday, a 256 was weighed in by Mike Alls from Fort Worth, Texas. And Sunday, Weston Bates of Garrison, Texas, weighed a 2.41. All those were $5,000 winners for weighing the biggest under the slot fish each day. So like I said, nobody does it better than Sealy. I mean, what a great event. No. And just the payback is just tremendous. And of course, Kevin, he's got his next big event coming up. I think in October.
October 8th and 9th, the fall shootout on Sam Rayburn will be October 8th and 9th.
Yes. So looking forward to seeing how that comes out. We're going to take another quick break. And when we return, we're going to give you the results of Lake Palestine, the ABA divisional results, the guys that made the Race Scott National Championship, who qualified for that. There's 5 guys from each division. So we'll talk about that.
And the Bass Opens just got released, the schedule.
Yep.
Some rule changes, Steve. Very interesting rule changes with the B.A.S.S Open we're going to talk about when we come back as well.
All right. You're watching Tackle Talk Live. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for the finest custom-built rods ever made? Then look no further than Pride Rods. Fishing rods built to last and made in Montgomery, Texas. Constructed by Mr. Billy Kistler with the finest Gary Loomis North Fork composite blanks available. They offer a complete line of both spinning and casting rods for both fresh and salt water. Pride Rods do more than pass the eye test. They excel in performance as well. Ask your local tackle dealer if they carry Pride Rods and pick one up and try it for yourself. You'll see why so many anglers are using Pride Rods. To learn more, go to priderods.com or call 832-418-6040. The next time you're headed for Toledo Bend or Sam Rayburn, stop by Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle. They have an awesome supply of everything you'll need to catch the big ones. Whether your trip calls for bass fishing, white perch tackle, catfish bait, or the ultimate fighting shiners, Keith's Tackle has you covered. Keith and former Elite Series pro Ben Matsubu also have the latest information on what, how, and where you need to be fishing on Sam Rayburn or the Bend. So for all your tackle needs, check out Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle, located just off Highway 21 on the Texas side of Toledo Bend, or call 409-625-0181. The Lakes Insurance Agency is an independent insurance agency that has been taking care of Texans' insurance needs for over 25 years, offering auto, homeowners, boat, RV, life, health, and commercial insurance. Owner Clark Moore is a local guide and tournament angler who understands your insurance needs and wants to be your go-to guy for all your insurance needs. For a free quote, give him a call and see why so many Texans trust the Lake Insurance Agency. Located at 805 Southeast Stalling Suite 3, Nacogdoches, Texas, or call 936-205-4467. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
You're watching Tackle Talk Live. Welcome back to the show. I'm Steve Graff, along with V&M General Manager Kevin Jean, and this segment presented by Pride Rods, Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle, and the Lakes Insurance of Nacogdoches, Texas. 2 locations, Broadus, Texas, right there off the shores of Sam Rayburn, and in Nacogdoches itself. So thank you one and all. We appreciate all you guys. Real quick, we've got the ABA results. Kevin, Lake Palestine, some of the anglers had, and again, I want to thank all of you guys that come up and said hello to me and said tell Kevin hello, and that they really appreciate, Kevin, what we're doing and all the results we're giving and all the inside information we've been giving to all of our watchers and viewers. And we just can't say thank you enough. Kevin and I both appreciate meeting you guys in person and just say hello and say, hey, man, we love watching the show. That's great news to our ears.
Yeah, I love to hear. And I went to the BFL 2 days several weeks ago, and I love to hear from you guys. I talked to several people at launch, just, hey, love the show, love what you guys do. And it's great for us to hear. It's great for us to hear good feedback, any feedback.
Yeah, and we're here to try to, as we've said on the show, kind of the theme of the show, we're here to make you a better angler. And hopefully what information we give you helps you in that capacity. Real quick, Lake Palestine results from the ABA Divisional. People ask me, are you going to give the lake a grade? I'll give it a grade. I'm going to go B-. Palestine, you can catch fish on Palestine right now. The boat dock bite is definitely on. The offshore bite was a big fat 0. I mean, guys struggled. Even locals were really struggling. They got off the docks and they got off the deep water bite, and they all were on the docks. And we beat them docks to death over there. But you can get bit. Kevin, I caught a lot of spots. That was one thing.
What I heard.
Yeah, a lot of spots were caught. And but I'm gonna give it a B- overall. It's a good place to go fishing. Be careful. It's about 2.5 feet down right now. So the north end of the lake, Kickapoo Creek, those creeks, be real careful. There's rebarb exposed up there. There's bridge pilings just under the water that you can't see. You better know where you're going. There was one guy did put a pretty good sized hole in his boat with rebarb. And that end of the lake did not play well. In this tournament, it was just too shallow up there, and guys really struggled. But anyway, we do have the results. Kevin Lazion, shocker. Kevin won this event. He had 10 fish for 2 days, caught limit both days. He weighed 1230 on the first day and 16 pounds on day 2. Congratulations to Kevin Lazion. And so I believe V&M Bait was a big winner for him.
We'll get into that. He probably don't want me saying it, but I'm going to. Well, after you get through discussing the weights, we're going to break down how he won this event.
Okay. James Larimore, another good young angler. He's from Vidor, Texas. James had 2 limits both days. He had 1459 day 1, 1364 for 28.23. Finished second. Kenneth Moore from Red Oak, Texas. 2 limits both days. He had a 1503, 1104, and then he had 2607 total. Aaron Johnson from Shreveport, another really good angler. AJ didn't have a limit both days. He had 9 fish for both days. 2579. But he did have a big fish of the event. He had a 924 kicker, Kevin, on day 1. Jumped his bag up to 1769 to take the lead on day 1. Came in with 810 on the second day. So big fish go a long way, Kev.
Absolutely. This time of year, they go a long way. And so Kevin Lazion won this. Majority of the fish he caught was, and I am plugging V&M here, but it's an interesting story. So he caught the majority of his fish on docks and rocks. And he caught them on a J-Mag 10.5 worm in the Texas smoke color primarily. But Steve, he said he was throwing that worm. Again, it's 10.5 inch long worm. So he's throwing that worm in 1 to 3 foot of water around docks and on rocks. So that's something a lot of guys don't do. And I know that's how Kevin was catching them, because I had to send him about 20 bags this morning. So it's interesting to hear. That's definitely something those fish don't see a lot of, I guarantee you.
No, and in my and real quick, those of you that are wondering, well, Graf, where did you finish? Well, I finished 13th overall. I had 10 fish limit, both 2 limits both days for 20.53. I had 968 on day one, 1085, and I told Kevin and myself this morning, every fish I put in the boat from Wednesday evening all the way through Sunday was basically on one bait, and it was the V&M Swamp Hog, baby Swamp Hog, and in 2 colors, Gleason Candy and Watermelon Red. And I'm telling you, I caught all the fish. I shook 25 to 30 on Friday with a screw lock, didn't even set a hook. Could have caught, now again, a lot of those fish were going to be Kentuckies or spotted bass, but I had a few heavies that I shook off that I felt good about. But that baby Swamp Hog, I'm telling you, it has become a staple for me. I have thrown it all year long, and it's been a big producer for me. And so here's the top 5 guys from this tournament actually qualified for the Ray Scott National Championship. There's Kevin Lazion, James Larimore, Kenneth Moore, Aaron Johnson, and Aaron Davis, who finished 5th in this event, also from Red Oak, Texas. And those guys qualified through this tournament. Now, the point totals is where Kevin Lazion was basically AOY. He won the Angler of the Year in the Open Series. Aaron Johnson was 2nd. Basically 2 points separated those 2 guys, first from 2nd. Braxton Hollinshed was 3rd. And Jeffrey Rice, Glenn Freeman's old partner. Jeffrey, well groomed by Glenn Freeman. He finished 4th, and Walt Roberts comes in 5th for Angler of the Year. Those top 5 guys automatically also qualify for the Ray Scott Championship. Yours truly, Steve Graff, I came in 6th overall, 1 place out, and I'm holding my breath. Kevin, maybe I'll get an invite. Somebody doesn't show up, guys, they're not going to fish it. I'll get that opportunity to fish the Red River and make the Ray Scott again. I've made 6 in a row. I'm hoping this will be the 7th one, but I needed a little bit more weight. I need to finish probably in the top 8 to really jump into that 5th spot. That would have maybe made up my ground. But anyway, I did go from 12th to 6th. I was very happy with my results, but just 1 place short, but I still might get in. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. But that's the results of ABA 2-day divisional. And congratulations to all those guys that did make the Ray Scott. It's a great event. I've been there 6 times. I absolutely love the event. And it's coming to our neck of the woods, Kevin. Finally, we're getting it over in our neck of the woods, and we ain't got to travel across the country to get to it. So that's a big deal for us and having that. And it's good for Shreveport to bring that event back to the Red River, you know.
Absolutely.
We've got a lot going on, as we know, this weekend. Kevin, we got the B.A.S.S guys there.
We do. We got the Open, which starts Thursday. It's going to be an interesting event, Steve. I didn't realize that they had a good-sized tournament this past weekend that went out of Red River South Marina. It was a benefit tournament, a memorial tournament, a very large tournament. I think it was anyway. I had a good turnout, I heard. And so already starting to get pressure along with those Opens guys that's been there for 20 days practicing, some of them anyway, 15, last week or so practicing. Red River's a lot better than it has been the past year, Steve, but there's still not a lot of fish. You can't go to setting the hook on all these fish and moving them around.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. I think they're going to catch them pretty decent on day 1. I think we're going to see some good weights, but day 2 and day 3, it's going to be anybody's ball game. Yeah,
and Red River's a place, Kevin, as you kind of alluded to, you don't go out there and burn a bunch of fish. You go out and burn your fish by setting a hook. Those fish will not bite. And like you said, there's not a lot of fish like there used to be on Red River when we had the big flood of 2016 that really wiped the river out. And it's just now starting to come back again. Still not seeing those 18-pound bags yet, but I'm hoping after this coming year, another good stable year of the river maintaining stable water level, then hopefully maybe the river will come back to what it used to be. So, that being said, B.A.S.S Open schedule for 2023, Kevin. Of course, a whole new format with the Bassmaster Open Series, qualifying series is what they're calling this now. Yeah. And you got to fish 9 events. It's a regular tour. You can no longer just fish 3 and try to get in. You got to fish all 9 and make a commitment, which is
they're making it a qualifying tour.
Yes.
It's not just the opens. They're doing a qualifying tour. Very interesting. It has some pros and cons. It does. It has a lot of them, and all over social media, that's what guys are talking about, the pros and the cons, and some really like it, some hate it. Steve, it's a very interesting schedule. I really like the schedule for the 9. So Division 1 is Lake Eufaula, Alabama, Wheeler Lake, Alabama, Harris Channel Lake in Florida. Okay. Division 2, April 13th through the 15th, by the way, Toledo Bend. Toledo Bend got an open back. Lake Eufaula, Oklahoma, and Lake of the Ozarks, Missouri.
Yeah. Great. Division 2 is a great schedule for, and again, guys, you can still fish 3 events in a division, and you can get to the classic. You can get to the classic, but you can't get to the elite series by that route. You got to fish all 9 if you're going to try to do that. So
you can fish a division and get to the classic. The winner of each tournament goes to the classic. Now, the interesting deal on Division 2 is Division 2, in my opinion, has always been a river open series. Arkansas River, Red River, Ross Barnett's been on there. It's not a river, but a bunch of really shallow backwater stuff. Steve, you got Toledo Bend, Lake Eufaula, and Lake of the Ozarks. I mean, you got 3 bodies of water there.
Oh yeah. Been to Eufaula twice in Oklahoma the last 2 years, and great place to go fishing. Just a great fishery, and sometimes weather can play a factor there. Some storms will roll through, especially in that June month. It could get a little hairy over there at times. I've been there twice when it's gotten hairy. The lake jumped up 4 feet in 2 days on one event. I mean, it was absolutely brutal. It poured on us. But anyway, great place to go fishing, though.
Yes, huge for the Lake Toledo Bend area to get this open back to Toledo Bend. It's just a huge booster to the economy over there. Yeah. And then Division 3 is Bugs Island in Virginia, St. Lawrence River in New York, and Watts Bar in Tennessee. So, Steve, I mean, if it's somebody this qualification thing, it's not a bad schedule, okay? Yeah. But there's some interesting changes. There's interesting rule change to the opens, which I think is a good thing, okay? So I'm going to read it straight from the website right here. New for 2023, there will be an off-limits period of 28 to 30 days, depending on the event, with an official practice period of 5 days before the tournament.
Yes.
Okay. The no information rule that applies in the Elite Series events will not be in effect for the Opens. So basically what they're saying is, you have an off-limits period, you can't be on the water.
Right.
But you can get all the information you want.
Yeah.
So,
which is more important, Kevin, time on the water or information?
Well, time on the water is more important.
That's what
in my opinion. It is. So I like that. But
that covers the playing field for a lot of guys, too.
It does. I like that rule because some guys, I think that's better for this qualification thing because some guys are going to go, I mean, this is all they're going to do all year. They're going to go from each body of water and just fish all year, try to make it. And it's not fair for those guys that go spend 2 weeks practicing or that can go spend 2 weeks practicing. There's been guys been to Red River, I guarantee you 2 to 3 weeks already. Red River.
I've seen boats in the Naxa area a lot in the last 2 weeks here. Some upper level guys, so they've been here a while. You're right, and
but like we said, now the no information rule will not be in effect. So they can talk to people that's fishing the body of water. They can go, they can ask questions. They can't barter.
Do you think they did that because it's hard? It's so hard to regulate that.
Yeah, you can't regulate that.
Gave up and said it's too hard for us to control that.
Yeah. For that amount of guys, and that's a hard rule too, Steve, for people. For that many, when you're trying to do it for that many amount of people that like take their evolution for instance, lives on Toledo Bend. That April event is coming up on Toledo Bend. It is hard for a guy not listen or not talk fishing about Toledo Bend. That's a hard rule to do.
Exactly. And I think some of the things that took place this past week at another event that they had a problem with in a circuit may have led to this decision to be made that we got to do something here on this information rule. We need to change this. Also, registration will open for the Opens early November, so you can check with the B.A.S.S, go to their website, beginning with anglers who want to participate in the Open Series, call it the EQ division, which is the elite qualifying division, which, again, you got to fish all 9 now. If you want to make the Elite Series now, this is the route you got to start going. And and again, I think what prompted that too, Kevin, when they looked at their list of how many anglers fished all 9 this year, I was shocked. 83 anglers fished all 9 events. I think that gave them the idea, wow, if we got that many fishing all night, why don't we just make that the qualifying tour? And I think that's what prompted the whole thing. So,
and to be honest with you, Steve, I think they got a lot of the MLF guys that are trying to come back.
Exactly.
And they got to make it fair across the board for everybody.
Right.
And this is the fairest way to do that. It really is.
Yep. I would agree.
Now, is it fair? Is it fair for the for Bob right here that works a 9 to 5 job 5 days a week? No, it's not. It's not.
The dream just got crushed with that. Now, you still make the Classic.
Yeah.
But she's not going to be able to get to the Elite Series. So the average working man, that dream got squashed. That bubble got popped. And
now talking about this open low, let me get your opinion here. Did you see the new MLF? I don't know what they're calling. I done forgot the new pro circuit that they're doing.
The new qualifying circuit, yes.
Did you see the rules on that?
I haven't looked at it that close yet.
So entry fee, you have to qualify for it. Only 150 people can fish it. Entry fee is $5,000 per tournament. But by doing that, they are letting the BPT guys basically, hey, if you don't want to fish all of them, you don't have to. And if you just want to fish 1 or 2 of them, you can just fish 1 or 2 of them and pay the entry fee only for that tournament. That's what they're doing. That's.
Are they in desperation mode, Ken? Is this a copycat deal with what B.A.S.S moved with the EQ series? Is this a copycat move by MLF to try to? Are they trying to keep anglers at MLF by doing what they're doing with this? I think that's the goal.
That is really hurting those pro circuit guys, the Justin Coopers of the world, the Colby Millers of the world. I'm going down the line. Those guys that are pro circuit anglers trying to make it in the BPT, they are making it more difficult for those guys to make a living because of payouts.
Right.
They're making it more difficult for those guys just to make a living doing that.
Yeah.
So they're basically making it all about the Bass Pro Tour is what they're doing.
Yeah.
But you're taking a huge chance to get there financially.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And so, well, it'll be interesting. We'll cover more of that over the coming weeks, and we may even have an angler's perspective. Get somebody like Justin, give his perspective on it because it affects guys like him, Daryl Gleason, those kind of guys. We'll see what they have to say about stuff like that. Upcoming fall tournaments, then we'll wrap this up. Bass Champs, Berkeley Big Bass Open, October 15th and 16th. The Sealy, and that's on Lake Fork. Sealy Fall Shootout on Lake Sam Rayburn's, October 8th and 9th. And Kevin, the Northwestern State Tournament should be a great event, October 15th.
Yeah, October 15th, 4 lakes to choose from. First place guaranteed $10,000. You can fish Cane River, Sibley Lake, Red River, or Black Lake. It's going to be a great event. There's no doubt about it. They're going to pay a lot of money. They're going to pay a lot of money out.
Yeah, and it's a $150 entry fee. Hey, you can't beat that. I mean, what a great way to spend a weekend, especially in October. Should be good weather, and fall will be here. And then go out and fish all day, then come home and watch the LSU Tigers or whatever your favorite team is.
Yeah.
Arkansas Razorbacks, but that's okay. Pick Suey. Let's go.
And talking Cane River, Sibley Lake, Steve, I want to give a shout out to my boy Trey Abear. He won the Die Hard Bass Club Championship this past weekend. Day 1 was on Sibley Lake. Day 2 was on Cane River. Kicked my butt this weekend. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, shout out to Trey for winning that. bunch of really, really good fishermen hammers in the Natchitoches area on Sibley Lake, Cane River. And I think he come with a 2-day total weight of 23 pounds or so. So congratulations, my boy Trey.
Hey, good job, Trey. Trey's a good angler. Does a good job. All right, Kevin, that's going to wrap us up. I think that's going to do it for today. Please check us out on our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, podcast. If you'd like to become a member of our sponsorship team, please make sure you message us on our Facebook page. Kevin will make sure he gets a packet out to you immediately. And so for Kevin Jean, yours truly, Steve Graham. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week with more Tackle Talk Live.